by fast typing on the spot, and then you send your SMS to 8778. We'll give you the final results shortly. General, just before we continue, you came to power in 1986, and today the president did appear on BBC on the spot, and I just want our director to play this for you, and then I will ask you one or two questions thereafter.
Before we end, Mr. President, a man you know well, George Kanyahamba, who's a former minister, I think he was a former Supreme Court Justice for you. He said not long ago, he said if the Yoweri Museveni of 1986 were to meet the Yoweri Museveni of today, they would fight on sight. In fact, he said they would probably shoot each other. Is that true?
No, it is the same Yoweri Museveni. He was for democracy and for socio-economic transformation. It's the same Yoweri Museveni, no change at all.
Are you sure he's as convinced and as strictly sticking to his principles today as he was then?
Absolutely, even more than that time, because I'm now more informed. I have got more facts, more exposure. I know how to run governments, which I didn't know very well at the beginning. I was just an idealist, but I know how to deal with the policy issues now.
President Museveni speaking to the BBC earlier today. General, your comments?
Yes.
Is he the same man? 1986 to 2012?
He is the same. They are the same principles. This 10-point program, he has not changed from them. And what he's doing,
democracy and social development,
he has changed with the circumstances, with higher responsibility, with more experience, and therefore, as the situation changes, he also change with the situation.
General, you were with him in 1986 when
yes,
he was at the parliament,
yes,
swearing in on the oath, and he did say at that same podium, which was mentioned there,
change.
Yes, he talked about fundamental change, but also he said the biggest problem for Africa is that the African leaders want to overstay in power.
Perhaps that's what he might have found out afterwards, as he was saying. He now understands some of these things better. He might have found that there was a need perhaps to stay a little bit longer. But as much as, mainly they were staying without being voted in. That was the trouble. You see, most of them were like Idi Amin and others who stayed, were staying against the interests of the public. But now for him, sometimes when he could have thought of going, people say, we want you back. They pressurize you. Before even he starts, they say fifth term. Have you not been seeing some of these things, which amuse me? So I really think that actually, if I may tell you, I have known him, and he has been the same person, interested in changing and improving the situation and transforming it for the better. However, as time goes on, you don't only increase on the good people, you increase also on the bad because of the greater population, greater challenges, greater. So what we now have to focus on, as we were saying, like he said in the State of the Nation address, now after finishing the major issues, because these points we went through, and for those who are giving marks, you should see the step by step of building a nation. Nation building does not come just all of a sudden by the wishes. This is, you provide democracy, real democracy, you provide security, you provide unity, you strengthen the economy, you provide services. Now, when it comes to implementation and you put strong laws, Uganda is one of the countries which has the best laws by parliament. By comparison, I always tell you about relativity. But now the challenge has been how have we performed implementing these great ideas that we want to put in place.
You're speaking about
and
parliament.
On implementation,
yes.
I think that is where we can give marks, and it can be done in different aspects. We can give different marks for
yes.
UPDF, we can give different marks for ministries, we can give different marks for NADs, we can give different marks, and in the process, we can see that really some of the things which people are so worried about, as if there is a crisis, are things which are easily solvable if we only corrected the methods.
Okay.
Yes.
General, speaking about the parliament, you're a member of the 9th parliament.
Yes.
It's been dubbed so far as the solution to the crisis or the Ugandan problem, whether it's graft or even good governance. Do you believe the 9th parliament is what it is and where it is right now and doing the role of oversight and doing it well?
You see, the expectation of the public, the expectations, it should be kept high, that they should provide they are a solution to the problems. The parliament, the role of parliament, one of the roles is oversight. The other role is legislation and representation. So the one of oversight is being done, and I think it is being done in the 9th parliament than the previous parliaments, but because it has always been an improvement. Because confidence of parliament, understanding of how parliament work, of how they work in relation with the state or with the judiciary, is a process. It does not just come like it catch you like flu. It goes through stages. Now the expectation of the people is that this parliament now, which has many young people than ever before, people expect it to do better. I am still, they are still doing, this 9th parliament, we are still doing exams. Like I told you of the story of the 30 years of bananas, when there were these effigies of the former presidents and the other one was covered, and Alex Mkuru said that one is still doing exams. So the 9th parliament has just started. People expect quite a lot from the 9th parliament, and it now has the challenge of combining the strength of the party and the strength of the parliament, which I think needs to be improved and worked on very fast, so that the parties are strong,
yes,
and they can know how to relate to one another and move things instead of stagnation, because sometimes some of these endless arguments can stagnate progress. And if you are a person who wants to move, you would rather make a mistake in the process of working than being stagnant. The only mistake, the only problem would be repeating the mistake. But otherwise, I think that the role of parliament, the 9th parliament, is dynamic, is very vibrant, is very energetic, and they are causing questions which I am enjoying, some of them.
Okay.
Of course, there are some delays.
Yes.
Inevitably, there is a cost to every nice thing.
General,
there is always a price to pay.
General, you have been in the army since you came to power, since you joined the army in
79.
81. Yes, in 79.
Yes, from us.
You are not a young man at this stage, and you have created an army that you and others claim is professional. Isn't it time for you to retire?
It's not a claim.
Isn't it time for you to retire?
It is a proof.
That it's a professional army.
Proven performance.
Yes.
Proven performance not only in Uganda as a professional army,
and Somalia, but
Liberia, Somalia, and our neighboring countries.
Yes,
so,
isn't it time for you to hand over the mantle to a younger generation of soldiers within the army to actually pick up from you?
You see, the problem is not about age, if I may explain. It is about what you are doing. I am no problem retiring any time. But interesting enough for me and my other colleagues who are members of the historical of the high command, the historical high command,
who have also failed to retire.
Some have retired.
A few have retired.
A few have retired.
You and others are still very active.
Whether they have retired or not, by our law of the Armed Forces Act, we are members of the high command for life. So I don't see a difference in what I'm doing than what I would be doing.
You can retire from active.
It doesn't make a big difference.
Work within the
actually
army.
To me, it doesn't make a big difference. But sometimes it's necessary to keep around and first ensure that these young people you want to just take charge are keeping the principles and the values. In fact, that's why one of the reasons I'm keeping around. Once I am seeing that they are still on the right course and they are not about to, I have no reason to remain, not to retire.
Okay,
because
General,
whether I retire or don't retire, I will not tire. I will continue revolutionary fighting for freedom of Uganda in whichever form, and that's what I'm doing even now.
General, now earlier we asked viewers, we asked in our poll question, we asked, has the NRM lived up to its liberation promises? The poll results
are in.
The poll results are in. I will ask you.
Why don't you?
I will ask you, then I will ask. The poll results are in, General. And 84% say no. Only 16% say yes. General, as we wind up your remarks?
Yes, my remarks is that I think we should guide our voters, because they didn't check. They should have used the checklist of the 10-point program. Democracy, more than almost 100%.
What is your overall percentage?
Mine is 85. I am leaving the 15 for performance in some of the areas, because some of our people have let us down, and for areas of corruption, which has increased because of so many opportunities to steal, which were not there before, and which are there now, and the technology which people even are using, and other reasons. And then for some of the things that still need to be, and because there must be room for improvement.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a teacher.
Yes.
A teacher, I'll never easily give you 100%. It would be in a rare situation.
At 85, you still are trying to get excellent. But General,
Yes.
we have run out of time.
I
Your
have
final
no
remarks,
regrets.
General.
My
Your final remarks, General.
My remarks are, young people, don't be discouraged. The challenges which are there are solvable. The biggest foundation that was necessary to create the environment for us to solve all our problems are there. And I only want to invite you that let's deal with corruption. Let's organize ourselves into regular fora where we can have opportunity to share and participate in our affairs, and we shall change this country to the better. It's no longer 30 years of bananas, it is now 50 years of oil. So I really want to encourage Ugandans that the future, it belongs to the organized, and we shall, better future belongs to the better organized, and we better organize better. I am very hopeful that once we do that,
yes,
the future is enjoyable.
Thank you very much, General. Viewers, because of time constraints, we have come to the end of tonight's show. We thank you so much for your participation. On the Sport returns next week with another riveting program. I've been your host, Maurice Mugisha. Thank you for watching.